Would you believe that I did a sound check before stream? I did. I swear there's a ghost. How did that? Never mind. We're not even gonna. Before the stream started, I was talking about how I was tweeting the stream. No, I didn't finish that. I had typed holiday baking stream, twatch, which is not a word, twitch.tv, because I don't know how people have links handy, but I always type mine, and then I have to, like, stare at them to see if there's typos. Hazelnuttygames. Yeah, that's me. All right, tweet that. Okay. Maybe it's for the best that I didn't get the tweet out until after we fix the sound. Sup, bros, and sisters, and uncles, and aunts, and happy holidays. Welcome to my kitchen. I have sound now, and you know, not every stream's gonna have sound. Let's all just lower expectations, and one of these days I'll put on a silent theater, a mime stream. That'll be good. This is how Hazel sounds? Maybe. I was mad, about the sound thing, not just because that's frustrating, but also because, like, twice in the process of troubleshooting it just now, I thought I had fixed it, and I was giving what I thought were some, like, really award-worthy performances of evil laughs, followed by merry laughs, followed by Santa ho-ho-hos, just to prove that my mic was on. And then it turns out it wasn't even on. So nobody knows but my cat how good I am at that. And I can't do it now, you know, it's too late, so. Also, I've talked myself up too much, so now if I do it, then it'll be like, well, that was an okay Santa. That wasn't the best Santa. So, this is my kitchen. I have removed a couple of appliances that normally sit in that corner. Why? I don't know. To pretend that I don't use appliances, I just get coffee out of the sky. I have a plan, actually, and I think I have to go grab another cookbook for it. But today, basically, what we're making peppermint brownies. And I have percolated ideas about how to make that happen. I have a plan. I will get my cookbook, talk you through the plan. Centurio 1986, thank you so much for the bits. You guys are the best. I will be right back. Also, I'm thinking of, so like this is much nicer light, right? Like this is what the camera's supposed to look like. But then the rest of my kitchen is dark and it looks like I'm moving out. But I can see, right? Anyways, I'm gonna grab the cookbook. You guys can still hear me because of the magic of wireless audio, which is really only magical when it works. But we're working now, so let's not jinx it. My plan is to make the Dalaran Brownies from the World of Warcraft cookbook, probably as is. You guys might be able to talk me into adding some. Peppermint extract to the brownies, but I don't think we need to because the peppermint is going to come in the topping. Basically, what I want to do is make a cream cheese frosting. Basically, I found an internet recipe that they want me to use brownie mix, and I said, on my stream, can't get away with that. So I'm going to do the Dalaran Brownies instead, but then they want me to put peppermint cream cheese frosting on top, and then a chocolate topping, and then crushed candy canes. Also, I feel like this lighting makes my hair look better. Well, not better, but less frizzy. Like, when I turn on the overhead light, the top lighting makes it very clear how frizzy my hair is, and the fact that I did not brush it before I started this because I ran out of time. But, you know, you turn off the overhead, and then all of a sudden it's like, I'm groomed. Don't put too much peppermint. That's what I was thinking. And especially because I would be kind of winging it if I was adding the peppermint to the brownies, whereas the frosting, at least I have a recipe. I have quantities for the frosting. So I think that's the plan. This is going to require various amounts of cooling stages because in between baking the brownies and then applying the frosting and then applying the chocolate, we're gonna have to let everything cool. So I should start now and then just, you know, get the brownies baking. So normally, something that I didn't really think through, normally the Dalaran Brownies, if you've never made them, this recipe is from the WoW cookbook. I have this linked to my Amazon recommendations. It's super worth it. But they're kind of like freestanding brownies. Are they freestanding brownies or did I just make them that way? Maybe I just made them that way. Oh yeah, it wants me to grease an 8x8 inch pan. So my pan situation, we'll take a look at it. We'll take a look at it. Do I hear a subtle touch of music? Yeah, I can turn it up a little bit. I went and found a holiday royalty-free playlist that I figure I can just loop forever while I'm playing the stream. I can't hear it, but you guys can, so I figured that might make me a little bit less a cappella. Jamming to some Christmas music, you guys get to. One of these days I'm gonna figure out, I mean, I could just wear my normal headphones, but I like being able to hear myself, particularly in the kitchen. Model-worthy lighting. It's one ring light, that's why. It's one ring light. You can see the reflection of my glasses. Way over there. I feel like I'm just gonna cook like this. Well, actually, once we get into the counter camera, yeah, it compensates, it's fine. Okay, so for the Dalaran Brownies, I made sure I had the ingredients, but I did not really look into things. We're gonna need to figure out what kind of pan we're doing, but after that, we're going to be melting butter and cocoa together in a saucepan, stirring in sugar, eggs, and vanilla, adding dry ingredients, which means granulated sugar. Oh no, we already did that. Dry ingredients meaning flour, salt, baking powder, and then vanilla. And then add those to the pan and bake it. So basically we're gonna be mixing the batter on the stovetop because it wants you to melt the butter completely. So it wants me to use an 8 by 8 inch square pan, you know, like people normally make brownies in. I don't think I have that. I feel like what I normally do. Let me see what I've got. And I looked online, and they're not expensive. But I'm kind of at pan capacity, especially after I accidentally bought like way too many muffin tins. I have round cake pans. Hello, who really wants a round brownie? I have a round, how big is this? I have a round, now, I'm having a stroke. I have a 9-inch round pan. Alternatively, I do have a rectangular pan, but it is like a 7.5 by 11. Does that math check out? Yeah, a 7 by 11. So, you know, 11 is 2 inches more than 9, and 7 is 2 inches less, so maybe that's how math works. Like a Pyrex, like a glass rectangular Pyrex. So I could use either of these options. If I did this one, I wouldn't quite know how to cut them eventually. Maybe you make like brownie pie slices. I do have the lights off. I find this is more flattering, and apparently that's more important to me than being able to see right now. Oh man, oddly close when zoomed this much in. Yeah, I can stand back here. My lens, this is the widest angle lens I have for this camera. I might get another one at some point just for this. But baking streams are fun to do, not bit of a loss leader in our industry. Make round brownies. I want any shape brownie because it's a brownie. Cook times will be different, this is true. Separate computer to stream from your kitchen? Yeah, so it's my old computer. Basically, last year and let me start pulling out ingredients. Last year I built a new computer, which is the one that I currently use in my office, you know, for like regular streaming and regular YouTubing. And when I did that, I did it pretty much from scratch. I didn't really pull anything from the old computer. So I kept the old one in the living room kind of as a backup computer and then also to do baking streams from. And just recently I've set it up with like a little desk and an extra like gamepad, stuff like that, so I can play WoW out here and have it as like my recreational setup. So I need a half a cup of butter, which I think is just 1 stick. So I'll put the rest of the butter back for now. We're going to need... No. Does that fit there? It does fit there. That will do. Flour, probably, yeah. Flour, sugar. Let's get some flour, sugar, eggs, cocoa powder. So sugar, flour, and then eggs are in the fridge. Cocoa powder should be up here. I've been very impressed with myself that the organizational system that we implemented with all the baskets and stuff actually kind of stuck. I still use it. The tea cupboard has gotten a little crazy post-BlizzCon because when I got back from BlizzCon, I brought all these Disney teas back and they didn't really fit, so they're just kind of spilling out about the place. But aside from that, it's been good. Salt, baking powder, vanilla, eggs. So let's see. Salt, baking powder, vanilla. Oh, there's the peppermint. That'll be for later. My vanilla should be right here. That's right. And then eggs in the fridge. It is a little full, but that's okay. That'll be for later. Eggs over here. Okay. Thirsty. Did I bring my water in here? I did bring my water in here. Will there be peppermint canes on the top? You betcha. First time watching the baking stream. What's the deal here? Are we still allowed to talk WoW related stuff, or is this reserved for food only? I appreciate the considerate question. You can talk about WoW. We often do. We'll often sit and talk about what's coming up next in WoW. It's not like a no WoW in the kitchen thing. Maybe in like 5 years when I've like really should have left YouTube and Twitch, but I'm still doing it because I never learned any other skills and I like can't stand WoW outside of that. I'll have like a no WoW outside my office world, but for now we're doing good. I tweeted the wrong link. What wrong link? This is why I don't tweet. Twitch.tv/Hazelnuttygames. Well, whatever. Never mind then. I'm mad at myself. Oh man. What you baking? We're making some brownies. So let me give you guys the counter camera so you can see what disaster I have wrought over here. We're gonna be mixing together, I guess we're gonna be mixing on the stove, so I should probably move over there. I had some bits from Buckshot, happy holiday Hazel, thank you very much, and Bruce the First, also with some bits. Makes me think of Tillamook cheese. I mean, it is in fact I guess of course it's a dairy brand, that's probably where I got the name from right now. Okay, I'm gonna need a saucepan. How big am I looking at here? Sometimes, I don't know, like saucepan to me could mean a few things. It could mean like a pot, or it could mean like a skittle, a griddle, a skittle, no, skillet. Not a skittle, a skillet. Both of those things can be saucepans to me because they're both pans and I put sauce in both of them. I think I'm going to use this one because it's really big and it's hard to go wrong with that. It might be bigger to clean, but that's fine. I'm going to do that over like what, medium heat, does it say? Medium saucepan, melt the butter, cocoa powder, remove from heat. So I basically just need to melt it. So like, let's do medium low. Let's put my phone not by the stove. I'm going to slap in my butter here, and then it's going to occur to me that I should have pre-measured some things before this, but we're just gonna fly and go. So that while that's melting, what am I putting into it next? Cocoa powder, measure that out. 1/3 cup unsweetened cocoa powder, or at least I'll get the 1/3 cup and a flattening knife ready over by there. Don't mind me throwing my implements. While I am, all right, so 1/3 cup happening over there. I need dry ingredients and I need them now. Let's do this size bowl. That's gonna be flour, salt, baking powder, I would assume. Normally I would weigh my ingredients, but this time I'm not going to because, you know, time is of the essence. The butter's on the stove. We're on a clock. So 1/2 cup. And these brownies seem to be a reasonably forgiving recipe. I don't think they're gonna just like implode if I have a few grams more or less flour here and there. I understand that baking is science, but you know what else baking is? It's magic. Okay, 1/2 cup of flour. 1/4 teaspoon salt. You know what 1/4 teaspoon is? Also known as some. There you go. And then, what else? Baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon baking powder. That I will measure. I will measure the baking powder. Hold your jiminies. Okay. Skittles are pretty small too. I was really mixing up the word skillet and griddle and trying to communicate what I meant. All right, there we go. 1/4 teaspoon baking powder. That is what that is, right? Yeah, not baking soda. There is a difference. I know things. That's what I do. I haphazardly bake and I know things. Okay, so that's dry ingredients. Aside from that, sugar, eggs, vanilla are going in there. How much sugar it's going to be? About 3/4 cup. So I'm going to need 1/2 cup, also 1/4 cup. I guess we can just do 3 of these. How's my butter doing? It is not very melty yet. We can turn that up a tiny little bit. How many eggs? 2 eggs. 2 eggs and a teaspoon of vanilla. So you know what I'm actually going to do for that is just throw those in a little bowl so that those are measured ahead of time. So, and also broken ahead of time. So let's put 2 eggs, which happens to be the amount left in this carton, in this bowl. And then do vanilla, and then I'll probably whisk those ahead of time. I don't really see why not. Zin WTF with the 6-month resub. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Here's my whisk. And then how much vanilla? We're looking at 1 teaspoon of vanilla. There we go. No, half a teaspoon. Bigger one. More. There we go. There we go. And I'll just throw that on the counter because these streams are chaos. I just clean up later. Oh man, I tried to cook on a Skittle once. It didn't end well. Are all instructions present and accounted for on the sheet? Well, my instructions are kind of spread across a couple of places. Earlier, when I thought I would be, I only gave myself an hour to set up for the stream, and and then I lost my phone like 4 times in that. If I had had a little bit more time, I had planned to like write up a step-by-step order of operations list to keep myself a little bit more organized on stream. But, you know, half the fun of the stream is figuring out what's next and then arguing about whether or not it's the right idea. So I didn't want to overplan. You know, you don't want to be over-rehearsed for something like this. I feel like this is really my finest form of performance art that's available. Okay, so that's an egg, 2 eggs. I can't show you without dumping it in the sink. That's 2 eggs and a teaspoon of vanilla. My butter is now, well, there's still a stick in there, but it's mostly melted and it's getting there. You know what I can do is I can light, oh, my microwave light's out. Good to know. Okay, so that's done. That's gonna melt. I'm going to add the sugar, or the cocoa. I mean, I guess it says melt the butter and the cocoa powder. Maybe I can put the cocoa powder in now. And then after that, we're gonna remove the heat, add sugar, eggs, sugar in the bowl. You know, I could probably put the sugar in this bowl, actually. You know, sugar, eggs, and vanilla doesn't imply that I didn't mix them ahead of time, so let's do that. How much sugar are we looking at? Like I said, 3/4 of a cup. My 1/4 of a cup is over here. I got these metal ones. They're like really cheaply fixed onto themselves, so I'm a little afraid that if I ever try to scoop something really hard, it'll break, but it's not an ice cream scoop. And because they're metal, they are engraved, however slightly. They do have, you can see the measurements etched in there, and that means that they won't come off eventually, because I feel like all might eventually come off, and I should be able to know just by looking what the capacity is. But if I could do that, I wouldn't need measuring cups now, would I? 1, or at least I can't do that easily. I have to think about it, and we're not in the kitchen to think. I don't come in the kitchen to think. If I wanted to think, I would go for a walk. I would go to the library. I would go to school. 3/4 of a cup, so that's my sugar, eggs, and vanilla. You know, there's something very satisfying about doing something with your hands. I do a lot of WoW, and I suppose I play WoW with my hands, but at the end of the day, all of the things I've created exist only digitally, so this is really, smells like eggs. Take vanilla beans and vodka. The British accent, he'd be in the British Bake Off. Mike is working, Sep Alberto. I did eventually prevail. What would be a Hazel stream without a few really upsetting technical difficulties? Oh, nothing like eggs, huh? Eggs and sugar. All right, well, that's ready to go, basically. So my butter's melted. I'm going to add my cocoa powder. Mix that in, probably with like a wooden spoon. Yeah, that sounds about right. 1/3 of a cup, is that right? I don't feel like that's right. Cocoa powder. It is right. Okay, 1/3 of a cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. This is unsweetened. It's pure cocoa powder, natural, unsweetened. That'll do. I read an article today about content creators' burnout on YouTube. While it didn't speak Twitch, I imagine the same applies. How do you handle burnout, or will you handle it should it occur? It's a great question, because Twitch has a lot of the problems that exist on YouTube, and I do consider myself somebody that does both. They kind of exist on both platforms, which is if you stop, you're gone, or at least if you stop, it's a huge step back for you. Like if a normal person took a week off their work, maybe they'd get paid, maybe they wouldn't, but at least their job would be more or less the same when they got back. But if I just take off for a week, I could lose, like, you know, you lose Twitch subs, you get less favored in the algorithm, you can essentially, all of this work on your brand that you've been putting in for the last like 5-6 years, you can evaporate a good chunk of it just by taking a week off so people don't. And it's not that the things that we do are incredibly strenuous, but I feel like the unique combination of how non-stop it is, or how you're incentivized to do it non-stop, combined with the fact that it can be kind of isolating, kind of lonely, and involve disproportionate amounts of criticism, I think. Even when it's all valid criticism, the fact that there's just so much of it can kind of do weird things to your brain. I think that's part of why burnout happens. As far as my plan, boiling butter. Do this, and then do this. Ooh, I feel like I'm frying my cocoa. I think I let that get too hot. I don't know if that's right. Let me turn on the light for a sec. Oh, that looks good. I mean, it's cocoa in butter. Of course it looks good. Should I try and make sure there's no lumps? Probably. Let me stab the lumps with the thing. I think for me, it's important to maintain a schedule so that I am sleeping at the same time. I'm sleeping for enough time. Ideally, I would be making time for offline social activities. I just don't really have that. But, you know, the same work-life balance things that I think go into anybody else. You just gotta be a little bit more careful because nobody's really going to make you stop. And then every time you stop, you can feel yourself losing potential earning. So that's a bit tough, but not really. I don't know. What am I saying? Okay, so this is my sugar eggs. It's looking weird, but I'm just gonna put it in. Is that what's going in next? Sugar, eggs, and vanilla. I'm gonna actually let this sit off heat for a second because it was just boiling and I am not trying to scramble my eggs, so I'm gonna let that hang out for a sec and then I will mix those together. Oh, I should preheat my oven, huh? We're gonna be baking this at 25 to 30 minutes at 350. Also, I need to grease one of these pans. They're roughly the same surface area, mathematically, theoretically-ish. Because one of them is 7 by 11 and the other one is 9 by 9, but circularly. That doesn't make them the same. It has been so long since I've been in school. I don't think it, I mean, as long as we keep an eye on it to make sure we don't overbake it no matter which one we put it in. I feel like I'm gonna put it in the rectangular one even though it's a glass dish because I've done it in these before and because squares are easier to cut. So I'm gonna do that. We're gonna be adding a few extra layers too, so the fact that it's taller is probably going to be good because I'm gonna need to stack on some frosting and then stack on some chocolates. I'm gonna want that extra height, I think. Algorithms aren't stupid, they're smart at making money. The algorithm is something that very few people understand. I don't understand it. I understand the basics of how it works, but of course it gets tweaked all the time. So it is designed to, at least the YouTube algorithm is designed to make as much ad money for YouTube as possible. And that aim sometimes, but does not always coincide with what is healthy and good for creators. Hot cocoa, fried cocoa, same thing. We'll see. Gonna go do the bed thing. Good night all. See you later. Therapist keeps wanting me to get non-online interaction, just don't know how or where to get that interaction. I've been reading about that online because I feel like it is tough. A lot of people will make their offline friends through school or they will make them through work. And if you are either not making friends at your school or work or either of those things are offline, or not offline but more isolated, then you have to do something a little different or try a little harder. The things that were recommended, at least online, interest group meetups, which sounds very intimidating, but like finding, you know, a D&D group or a cooking class or something like that. Like taking a class or doing, like going to meetup.com or whatever and finding an interest group thing could be one thing that can work. Something that I feel like would be easier to get into, or not easier, but provide less pressure to immediately try to fit in would be volunteer work, because then even if you don't make friends, at least you're doing some good for the universe. But it's also something where you are going to be around people all working towards a common goal, which is the framework that can help make friendships. So I feel like volunteering would be good. Okay, this is cooled enough that I don't think it's going to fry my eggs. So I'm going to slowly add my egg, sugar, vanilla mixture in while stirring. It didn't tell me to do any of this, but ooh. You can't see what that looks like, but it looks cool. toss that in. I think we have avoided the dreaded curdle, so that's good. Next, we are going to be adding dry ingredients, stir vigorously to combine, and then pour into the prepared pan. So I need to prepare my pan. It told me to spray. I use a coconut oil spray because it's never let me down and like smells a little bit good. It does kind of clog the nozzle a little bit sometimes, but that's good. You can clean that. So dry ingredients then, which isn't that much. I feel like this is a very wet batter. You don't have a ton of dry ingredients compared to everything else. Oh, it's occurred to me that my oven's not finished preheating yet. Oh well, it's fine. It can sit for a sec, it won't die. Usually, once you have added your wet ingredients to your leavening agent, like your baking powder in this case, you want to be then pretty on top of baking it quickly because it activates as soon as it gets wet. And, sorry, I'm not trying to overwork it. I just want to get most of the lumps out. Maybe I should use the whisk. Alright, that looks fine. Yeah, it'll activate once it gets wet, which means that they might not rise as much, but I don't think they're supposed to rise a ton. There's not that much in there to begin with. So let me get all this into the pan and kind of spread around. It's very thick. Looks good. So usually the Dalaran Brownie recipe wants you to top it with like a cocoa icing, like a chocolate icing, but we're going to do peppermint frosting and then chocolate on top, and then candy canes, and it's going to be great. I've never tried something like this before. I put 3 different options on the Patreon baking stream poll, and 3 of them were things that I traditionally make most years, and then one, which was this one, is the one that I've never made before, but I was like, I need a 4th option. That sounds vaguely holiday-like. That sounds like it could be a thing. Okay, so this is a fairly thin layer. I don't know if it's thinner than normal. The brownies in her photo are fairly thin, so I'm not going to worry too much about it, but I will keep an eye on their baking to make sure that we don't burn them, because those might cook quickly. Thought you had a blue patch in your hair. It was the string on the apron that's giving that illusion. Yeah, I have it tied in the back so that it stays up here and not like, not like down by my belly button. Social suggestion: if you want to get non-online interaction, look into a 10th class for something, pottery, learning a craft, educational and friendly at the same time. I missed some subs here. Luis Perez Art, thank you for the 2 months. How much is a rounded teaspoon in milliliters? Spent 30 minutes on the internet with no consensus. I want to say in water at least, teaspoons are 5 milliliters each, I believe. Is that right? Because I thought tablespoons were 15. Oh, that's good. But I feel like it might be different depending on what you're measuring. Cooking classes are good for safe, non-threatening social interaction. People getting together to teach others how to cook. That would be fun. That would be a fun thing to do. It looks like black sludge. It looks like brownie batter is what it looks like. Hazel, first time catching one of your streams. How's your day? Petal Blossom. My day's going actually great. I've had a great day so far. I'm gonna clean a bit to make some room. So this is our brownie batter in a tin. I'm gonna, not trying to like break the pan, but I want to get some of those bubbles out. Brownie batter, we're gonna bake that as soon as the oven finishes preheating. In the meantime, I've made a big mess, so I think I can clean up a little bit, make some tea or maybe some coffee. Well, it's only Wednesday. If it was a Friday, I would maybe make a pot of coffee and just like stay up late, but it's a Wednesday. I got stuff to do tomorrow morning. Let's not get too crazy. Let's not over-caffeinate at 3:40 on a Wednesday afternoon. So I'm gonna tidy up, chat a little bit. We can make some tea. Our next stage will be making the peppermint cream cheese frosting. However, that's not going to be really needed until the brownies have both baked and cooled. So we have some time on that. We could make it ahead of time, but I'm going to at least get the brownies in the oven. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to put this in. It wants me to bake them for 25 to 30 minutes. I'm going to put them in for 20 and then see, maybe even like 18, and then see what we're looking like. Because see what that looks like. All right, this one over here. This one over here. I need my water. I still have that brownie batter in my mouth, and it's delicious, but very rich. 4.9, 5 is pretty close. Teaspoons 5, tablespoons 15, metric tablespoons. Yeah, I learned something. I remember learning about teaspoons and tablespoons and then knowing how many teaspoons in a tablespoon? 3. And it was something to do with tea rhyming with 3 was the mnemonic or whatever that they taught us about, to remember that. I don't know if it checks out. What do we do during baking? Well, while things are in the oven, usually I will pull up, well, I'll clean for a while so you get some thrilling footage of me washing my dishes. Because unlike the Great British Baking Show or any other cooking show, this is my kitchen and I live here, so I need to not make it a disaster. And then I usually pull up a stool, have some tea, and then we become a just chatting stream. We just hang out and chat. I'll tell you all about, well, whatever you want to know. So these go down here. These go down here. I haven't decided on dinner yet tonight. I feel like after a baking stream, I'm usually kind of like done with being in the kitchen, but I also kind of want to make sushi. So undecided. This one back down here. These over here. I am the worst. I don't put lids back on things. If you ever want to know what it's like to live with me, just imagine pulling something out of the cupboard and the lid is just like that every single time. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I never put lids on things until I notice it, and then I do it. I'm like, what am I doing? But it drives my husband nuts. Especially if it's something like a pill bottle where I am notably bad at getting the lid off again anyway. Sometimes I don't want to put it all the way on, but then he likes to pick things up by the lids, and it's just, it doesn't really work out. Okay, salt, bowl. We can talk about our plan for the frosting and what's going to go into that. But first, I have some dishes. I have an empty tea tin. I finished one of my teas, which I should dig and see if I have any more to refill that. When you were pouring it in, it did not look brown. It's just a lighting thing, I'm sure. I promise it was brown. It's brownie batter. Love the Alliance Tabard apron. Why, thank you. Got finished cleaning. Now I got your stream. One of my kids' schools called me, asked me to come up to the school to pick up something they had for him. They got him a bike. They got your school a bike? That's awesome. Or they got your kid, your school got your kid a bike. Your kid getting your school a bike would be stranger. That's so cool. Overwatch's Blizzard World, he spawned in the tavern. This image of everyone being there. Hazel coming in with brownies and cookies she's made with the WoW cookbook. The dream. They have a at Blizzard, I'm trying to remember what it actually is. It's basically the Hearthstone Tavern. It's not quite as big, but they have like a big table there that they do board game stuff at, or at least they used to. And then it's kind of decorated a little bit like the Hearthstone Tavern. I'm trying to remember what that room is actually for, because it had like a purpose. But when I toured, at least the first time, I remember seeing that and being like, this is the coolest thing ever. That's the dream. Their library is also super cool and kind of feels like that. Put that over there. Can make some tea. I haven't decided what kind of tea yet, but it's gonna need to be something with some caffeine. In here, I have 2 different types of cutlery, like 2 different sets basically. They're both from Target, but we bought them at different times. So some of them are like these ones, which they were quite cheap and they're quite thin, and the corners are a little bit cornery. So if you're like stirring or using it with any force, you end up. It's not dangerous or anything, but it's a little bit pinchy to your hands. And I was so sick of that I went out finally and was like, you know what? I'm buying the slightly nicer Target cutlery. And I got some that have like heavier, weightier, rounder handles on them, and they're great, except that I only bought the one set because I was like, well, I already have some. And now we basically need about 2 sets of cutlery to have enough until we need to run the dishwasher. So now I just have both, and now I have to like decide every time I go to like grab a fork, do I deserve a good fork today? It's a whole thing. Don't mind. Oh, you guys can't see actually. You're zoomed in so far because of the angle. You can't even see my funky dish gloves. They are Twitch colored. I am a big believer in rubber gloves, just for cleaning, for dishes, you know. I painted my nails. I don't want my nail polish to come off right away. And also, I'm always like eternally satisfied by being able to immerse my hands into something wet, like a sink, and then have them come out, like still feel my hands being dry in the middle of all that. I find that really fun. And then if I need to grab anything like, you know, food, or if I need to grab any like old gross food that I'm cleaning off of something, not that we like let it sit, but you know, you like empty the dishwasher and you're like, oh, how did that noodle get in the bottom of the dishwasher? I'm too persnickety to want to grab that with like my hands, but it has to come out. I can't just like let that live there. So I have gloves, and they're like my magic armor against the world. Same thing if I have to like kill a really big bug. I'm not excited about it, but I'll put on the gloves so that at least if it gets away, I have like an extra 4 seconds of time to deal with it before it like is on me. And then if I kill it and then it's messy, at least it's not on my hands, because that's the kind of guilt you can never really wash away. Husband is 6'7". When I leave jars half open, he just puts them on the top shelves that I can't reach. Oh boy. That's kind of, I mean, I'd say that's kind of mean, but maybe it's fair, I don't know. My husband's quite tall, but I have the benefit of also being reasonably tall, so he can't exactly put things out of my reach. How's WoW been? WoW's been fun. WoW is a little bit, we're kind of in a downtime right now because patch 8.3 is not going to be until after the holidays. So unless you are catching up on something or playing alts, there's not a ton to do. But I'm catching up on stuff and playing alts, so I have plenty to do. So I've been farming mounts lately on streams. Electric kettle would you recommend? Oh, let me show you guys mine. We'll do a little moment that's almost sponsored, but it's not quite sponsored, but it's not sponsored. Like, I'm not sponsored by any kitchen product. However, I do have affiliate links in my Amazon shop. But basically, for tea, I have this bad boy, and I swear by it because I use it like 5 times a day, and I've done so for years, and it does not die on me. And basically what I have there is different temperature settings for different types of tea. So I'll do this if I'm making black tea. I've got my green tea setting up here. And then oolong, I don't make a whole lot of white tea. I do herbals at 200, but basically you set it, and then it'll get your water to that temperature, which is perfect, so you're not scalding your delicate teas. And then it can also maintain water at that temperature if you're making like multiple cups. That is super, super handy. Love that thing. It's 100 and something. It's not a cheap kettle, but if it broke, I would sell something if need be and buy another one. I think I'd be fine, but I would do a lot to have a working copy of that kettle. As a tea fiend, anyways. If you're not a big tea person, it's not going to do a lot for you. If you happen to get an itch, you have a nice clean hand to scratch with the gloves. So many upsides. I don't use gloves for dishes. I like being able to feel if there's food rather than going by sight. That's a good point. We are lucky to have a dishwasher, so most of the things that I'm washing in my sink are usually like non-stick or bowls that had something that was fairly easy to get off. Anything that is plates, basically. I find I can't really get super clean in the sink, but I just run them through the dishwasher and then that works out. Thanks for suggesting rubber gloves. I thought they wouldn't work, but they make tiny hand ones and they're great. It's just the thing that gives me courage to clean whatever I gotta clean without feeling bad about it. Also, if you ever need to grab like a Pikachu, you know, we all remember the Pokemon premiere, right? I have that one too, love it. It's a Cuisinart. It's a Cuisinart. I have, there should be like a link somewhere to my Amazon shop, and it's in the kitchen section because that's like the most recommended thing that I have. It's the best. Oh man, bought the kettle through Hazel's link. First one was a different brand, had a screw that rusted. The kettle's a great recommendation. Wash by hand is crystalware and stuff that says do not wash by machine. True. Good idea, good point. I don't have a lot of fancy stuff. I have wine glasses. I guess I wash my wine glasses by hand. And by wine glasses, I mean I have 2 of them. They were $1 each, and one's the end Target. But I just wash those by hand, and I figure if I ever break them, that's okay, because they were like $1 each. Okay. That's going to take another like 8 minutes minimum, but probably a little bit longer because we underset the timer. I need a dishwasher. I hate living up north. Most places don't have them up here. Oh, I haven't always had one. I have lived in places that did not have dishwashers, and then I've lived in places that have them. And I have such a privileged life. I can't complain about this place. I would love a house, don't get me wrong, but as far as apartments go, I have a dishwasher. I have in-unit laundry and dryer. It's like, can't complain. It's really nice. I'm spoiled now. I don't want to live in a place that doesn't have those things. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna grab my stool. I'm gonna put on the kettle. I can put on the kettle now. And we can choose a tea and then talk about what our next steps are in these holiday peppermint brownies. I'm actually not hungry. I made lasagna last night. I made a lasagna, and then I had leftover lasagna for lunch, which was quite filling. And then earlier this morning, I had a cinnamon bun. One of my husband's coworkers brought them into work, and he brought one home for me, and then I had it this morning, and it was like really good, but I'm not really hungry. You know, we got time until it's ready. Okay, stool. Oh, it's way over here. I've been shuffling around where everything lives in this room since moving the desk in, and the stool is kind of like, I use it for baking streams because I pull it in here and I sit on it, but I don't really use it for much else. And I don't know where to put it. Oh, I'm a little bit far from my screen. Let's see. I hate dishwashers. It takes longer to get dishes clean, to take up away shelf space. Don't have one where I'm living either, renting a house. And unit washer driver is a real silver lining gold mine there. It's, yeah, no, I'm so spoiled. Have I lived? Yeah, no, the first place that I moved out of my own at, hang on, now that we're sitting, the first place that I ever moved out into, I lived in a basement suite while I was going to school. It was just me, basement suite, while I was going to university, and it had shared laundry that was outside. So you'd have to like leave your apartment, usually in your slippers, because it wasn't a long walk, but it was a walk with your laundry to go to the super dark, spooky laundry room. And I would always end up doing it at night because I was only home at night. And the machine would like, it wasn't very kind to your clothes, and I didn't have nice clothes, but it wasn't the nicest. Oh man, nice laundry room. Can't wait to start renos next month. Renovating a place sounds horrifying, but also kind of necessary sometimes, depending on what it is. I guess not necessary, but I've been looking online at houses and what different price ranges look like in different neighborhoods around here and what we're going to be able to maybe afford. And we got to go talk to a bank just to find out what we're going to be able to maybe afford, because I don't know. But there's a lot of places that are nice places, or at least they're nice on paper. They have the amount of rooms and space you want. They have the yard you want. They're in the neighborhood you want. And then you go inside and it's like good condition, might need style updates, and it's like really super 60s, 70s styled stuff, like really aggressive wood wall paneling and funky carpets and stuff like that. And well, like when that's your house, you know, if you want to change it, that's on you. I mean, I guess you can pay people to do stuff, but then I grew up watching the Home Improvement Network, and I swear there was like some show that we watched too much about contractor nightmares that terrified me of ever hiring a contractor. I should have watched the shows where people have lovely experiences with trustworthy contractors that get the work done in time and don't like bring your house down. Homes on Homes, yeah! I watched that with my parents. They would put that on, we would watch it, and he would just like rip up people's flooring and be like, this is garbage, and it kind of scared me out of ever wanting to work on my house, if I ever get one. How's the vein seeker farming going, Hazel? It's going. We've been doing it. So I can say that I haven't given up yet. I haven't lost hope. I don't have it yet. I don't have them out. We're going to work on it again tomorrow. Am I going to work on it again tomorrow? I think I'm going to work on it again more tomorrow. And then, yeah, tomorrow, Friday, Sunday, the rest of our lives, you know, whatever it works out to be. I think I've decided that whenever that World Quest spot is up on the west side of the zone, I want to farm there. And then when it's not up, we should do Torga's Rest. I think it's the best spot. My dad is a contractor, and I will always ask his opinion on who I hire before I hire someone. I'll probably afford 2 mortgages for what I'm paying in rent. That's the real kicker, is just the upfront cost of getting into a place, and not just the down payment, but all of the other costs associated with it. I'm trying to budget and figure out how much should I save. I know, like, people say you should go for a 20% down payment, but, you know, is there a point at which you want to, you know, stop paying rent? What if your rent prices are going up? What if housing prices are going up? What if you want to move in, but, you know, do a smaller down payment, but then have more money available just in case there's an emergency in the brand new home you own? I think it just depends on if I can afford to live here another year, because if we can, I feel like the longer we can save, the better. Housing prices are going up and rent's going up, but I feel like it's going up less quickly than our income, hopefully, if I don't, like, have a mental breakdown and stop doing things. So maybe we should just wait. I don't know. I feel like I've been just waiting for, like, a while. We've lived in this place for, like, 5 years now? 4 years? Something like that. What kind of tea do I want? I have, let's do green pot. I'm feeling some kind of like it's a holiday, you know, this is what I want. Yeah, that's what I want. This is a creme brulee flavored black tea. It's not a super like fancy or expensive one, but it's nice, you know. It's like the tea equivalent of a Starbucks holiday drink, especially if you do it with like a little bit of sweetener and some milk. I'm gonna go for a teaspoon over here. And then we have 90 seconds left on the clock before we're checking the brownie. I don't really know what I'm looking for. Is it kind of like a cake? Do I want to stab it with a toothpick? Is that the plan? Let's see. You do. How is the level of the holiday music? It should be coming through underneath me. Let me know if I need to turn that up or down. I can't hear it, so I have no idea what's happening over there. I was reading about different wireless... I was thinking about like wireless earbuds, kind of like AirPods, but not AirPods. I have a pair of hand-me-down AirPods, actually. Set a timer for 4 minutes. I have a pair of hand-me-down AirPods, but the wireless chip in them works great with Apple stuff. It's kind of spotty if you try to pair it to PCs. So I was thinking of like wireless Bluetooth earbuds so that I can wear just one of them while I'm streaming, either here or from my other room, because then I can hear myself while streaming, but still get sound from like sub notifications. Speaking of, my bad, 25 minutes ago, EJB2987 with the 2-month resub, and Shirhala with the brand new sub, but 20 minutes ago. I am so sorry that I missed that. I gotta work on a sound solution, but thank you so much for the support. You guys are the best. A little bit of music now, very quiet, not audible. Okay, let me get a little bit more, but I don't want it to be like a party. I just want it to be there, so that it's not quite so spooky. All right, I'm gonna stab it with a toothpick, because why not? What's the worst thing that's gonna happen? It's gonna like open up its little brownie mouth and go, ah! I'm gonna want an oven mitt, probably. It would be inadvisable for me to just grab that with my hands. Okay. So, I'm gonna give that like another... The toothpick came out clean, and it's pulling away at the edges a little bit. It's not very even, but you know, worse things have happened. I think it might be done. You know what? I'm gonna take that out. I think that's done. I don't think I want to leave it in anymore. Use a fork. What's different between a fork and a toothpick? The toothpick was clean. I did it like in the middle. Okay. I will show you guys what that looks like. Also, I'm gonna need to get a cooling rack going. I was thinking actually, here, so, not super thick, a little uneven, has a little bit of a dip on one side, but looks like that. You can see the hole where I mulled it, but it's kind of coming away at the edges, and I can see that the edges are a little bit more set than the rest of it. I'm gonna call that done. I don't think it's gonna be underbaked, especially because it's quite a thin brownie. So I'm gonna put that in a cooling rack for now, but I'm thinking soon. It is like 40, oh, it's raining outside. No, it's not raining outside. 40 Fahrenheit, which would be like 5 degrees Celsius. So if I put a towel over it so that like the bugs and stuff stay out of it, I could put that outside of my balcony. I could cool that outside, like Chicken Little cooling their pie. Love my AirPods, use them every day at work. I thought it was really funny. I went to San Francisco and I felt like half the people I saw had AirPods in. It was wild. Let's see. Got Raycons. I've heard a lot of advertising for Raycons, which makes me skeptical of them. Anything I've heard advertised to me in a podcast, like, drops my trust level by 35%. I don't know why. Oh man, I can smell it from here when we run out of WoW recipes. Have you considered the Heyday cookbook for the future? I've never heard of the Heyday cookbook. What's it all about? Would lose AirPods so fast. The nice thing about them is that when they're not in your ears, you can put them right back in the case that they come with. So you're worried about losing the one case, but not the individual AirPods, really. But yeah, perhaps there are people. I read an article. There's a K-pop star, one of the BTS members, Namjoon. He apparently said in some kind of a live stream that he was on his 35th pair of AirPods because he has lost 34 pairs of AirPods. And that was a fun Twitter moment to read. And recipes from Heyday the game. Haven't you played that? I have not played it. I don't play a lot of classic WoW. I have dabbled. Batteries in them are small. They don't last long enough. Yeah, it's nice that they charge while they're in the case, but if you're going to be using them for like marathon lengths of time, they definitely don't last as long, I don't think. My over-ear headphones, I get a good chunk of time out of those. I charge them at the end of the day, and they get me through like a whole day of working and streaming, and then also listening to music in the morning and evening. So probably 6 to 7, maybe even 8 hours of playtime on them. They're winding back a little bit now, but I've been using them every day for like 2 years at least, so that might be part of it. Oh man, you play other games besides WoW? So, kind of. I'm trying not to let myself play multiple other games besides WoW at the same time, because once I get too distracted, I'm not having fun anymore. And also, I find that usually on a stream, I want to talk about what I've been up to lately. And if I've been playing a lot of a non-WoW game, that's all I want to talk about, but that's not necessarily what people want to hear about because we don't have that as much in common. But basically, right now, I'm trying to like figure out what is my recreational gaming life? What do I play if I'm just playing for me? So obviously WoW, Hearthstone Battlegrounds, I have been addicted to Hearthstone Battlegrounds. I've been playing a lot of that. And then I have Pokemon Sword on the go right now. I'm working through that. Not very quickly. I find that it's going, but I have a hard time being like, I don't feel compelled to play it. I'm not addicted to it the same way that I feel compelled to pop up in Hearthstone and play it through a Battleground. And then I was looking through my Steam library, just like re-downloading stuff, being like, maybe I will try to play Skyrim again. You know, I've never successfully gotten all the way through a Skyrim playthrough before, but it could happen. I liked Oblivion a lot. I re-downloaded Dragon Age, I re-downloaded Stardew Valley, I re-downloaded Don't Starve, and Dark Souls. I've still never finished Dark Souls 3. I have like 30 hours in Dark Souls 3, have not finished it. I just keep starting it over again, apparently. Have you heard of Plum Deluxe for tea? They have some really nice flavors. I have not, I don't think. Oh, it's about farming. Think you'd be addicted? Quite likely. Oh, I missed some stuff. Play Dishonored? I tried, actually. I have Dishonored. It was one of the games that I have in my library, but it made me motion sick. Skyrim actually made me kind of motion sick, too. There's very few... I'm weird and picky that way. Things will get me kind of nauseous. Let's see. Play Escape from Tarkov. Haven't had that. Heyday from the App Store. I got my second Ultimate Battle Training Stone. I have a level 25 Beast. What kind of pet should I boost next? I would see if you can get an Icky. Icky's a flying pet. They're eventually going to nerf the Black Claw Flock combo, but for now that will get you through a lot of stuff. It will get you through a lot of Najatar stuff because it's very good against water pets. And I find that one comes in quite a bit, especially if you already have beast damage. Flying will do you well against water. That one's a good one. Favorite Dark Souls game? Unpopular opinion, but Dark Souls 2. I never played Demon Souls, I should clarify. I have never played Demon Souls. I did Dark Souls 1 a few times, and then Dark Souls 2 was just kind of the one that I got through first. Like, I think I played it before I played Dark Souls 1, and then I went back to 2 and did a bunch more playthroughs. That was the one that I almost finished a soul level 1 run on. I got stuck second to last boss, the twins. Couldn't do it, but that was the game that I really fell in love with and I guess I had a bunch of time on my hands at the time, but just super, super, super into Dark Souls 2. And I know it's not like the technically best Souls game out there, but it was for me. It was for me. Hit 70 on Skyrim without finishing the main story. Did you decide what to put on the brownies to show they are minty? We're going to be doing mint cream cheese frosting, then a layer of chocolate with chopped up candy canes. I have a bunch of candy canes. We can pulverize them later. Eyeshadow. It's from a sample that I got many years ago that I think is actually a bronzer sample, but I've been wearing it on my eyes because it's pretty and it sticks there, I suppose. I want to say Mana Kadar. I want to say is the brand name. I don't know. Have you played any of the Final Fantasy games? I played a little bit of Final Fantasy XIV, the MMO. I have not played any of a Final Fantasy RPG. First person whose favorite Dark Souls is second? Just like the first person in the world, or? I actually have some Dark Souls 2 guides on my YouTube channel. They're a little lesser known now, but I have some like DLC guides and bonfire guides and like how to solo the hippo, and I did like a melee dual wielding stabby pokey weapons run, and I did some kind of guide on a boss or something like that. I don't know, I didn't stick with it, but it was fun. I love playing Fable. I feel like I'm cheesing a lot of battle pets with Icky. He just works quite a bit, yeah. Powders work pretty much anywhere. That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm saying. It's not like I don't have eyeshadow, but you know, that one is big enough that it's like never ever gonna run out. And it's a universal and like generic enough shade that I can just kind of keep it in my makeup kit. So if I'm ever like, I forgot to bring my eyeshadow palette, I just have that one handy. Okay, I'm gonna let this cool more outside. I'm basically gonna drape a towel over that. Do I have an extra towel here? Of course I do. I keep it in my my kitchen towels basket. I'm gonna drape this over top. I'm gonna carry this whole thing outside and let that chill while we are whipping up some frosting, and then we'll see. We just need it to be cold enough that it's not going to melt the frosting when we, frost it. I could put it in my fridge, but I want to let it cool a little bit in the open world first. Because, I don't want it to heat up my fridge. Then my fridge will have to work extra hard. This is free. Okay, is my tea ready yet? Did I actually set my timer? Oh, well, it disappeared, so I guess so. This might be some strong tea. This might be a little bit overly strong. Let's make a little bit of that. What did you think about Final Fantasy XIV? I don't think I played enough of it to give it a really fair opinion, especially when I've heard that the latest expansion is really good. I heard that Shadowbringers was like a triumph in MMO expansions. I played it when it first came out, and I got lost. I think it's because I wasn't looking for something that wasn't WoW. I was already reluctant to try it because I would have rather been playing WoW. I got kind of peer pressured into it. And then for me, because of that, everything that was not WoW-like, or that was confusing to me because it wasn't what I was used to, was irritating to me. And I got lost in the first main city that I got to. I never made my way out. It had too many layers. It had too many different maps depending on what layer of the city you're in, and I couldn't figure out how to leave and get back to where I came from. So then I quit, and I think my character's still there. Tanador, thank you very much for the sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Ooh, I really said the heck out of that Squirrel Squad. Squirrel Squad. Joys of baking in winter. It's a wonderful thing, especially when I don't feel bad. Like, I don't bake much in the summer because I don't want to heat up my place, Like, this summer around here is just like a battle of trying to spend the least amount of electricity. So you really don't want to heat anything up more than necessary because you just know you're going to have to air condition it back down. So I don't like baking in the summer, but in the winter, I feel like I'm helping. Obviously, it's still more expensive to run the oven than it is to just run the heat, but it's, it feels like I'm helping. I get DC'd every time I go to my garrison. Ooh, sounds like you were in La Minsa Limsa. I quit the first time I played too. I'm sure it's a wonderful game. I have friends, like my hairstylist. She was a huge player. She was rating it. It sounded really cool. I'm just not really in the market for a new thing. It feels like whenever people try to pitch new games to me, it feels like somebody's trying to set me up on a date when I've been married for 6 years. It's just Like, you know, I'm sure he's great. I'm good though. I'm all set. Freyr Thandox. Is that how we say that? That's how we're going with it. Thank you for the 2 months. Love your guides and videos, but love the positivity the most. Stay awesome. Aw, thanks. I'm gonna have to unwrap a whole bunch of candy canes. I don't know how many we're gonna unwrap. Let's look at the. Let us look at the recipe for the frosting. Now that we've baked the brownies and they are chilling, the hardest part, well, the most technical part, the bakingest part, is over. For the frosting, oh, I'm supposed to soften some butter. Oops. We're gonna be softening some butter and cream cheese, apparently. Okay. Well, good that we checked now. So here's some cream cheese. 2 tablespoons of butter, do you say? It's a good thing we checked. I should have checked earlier. 2 tablespoons of butter. You can just live there. And then is this 2 ounces of cream cheese? That's 8 ounces of cream cheese. How is that 8? I guess I'm gonna weigh out some cream cheese. Not making a whole lot of it. But basically, yeah. 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 ounces of cream cheese, a tablespoon of milk, 2 cups of powdered sugar, and then 1/8 of a teaspoon of peppermint extract. Not very much peppermint extract. That's for the peppermint frosting. And then we're going to melt some chocolate, probably on the stove over a pot. Like, we'll set up like a little kind of jerry-rigged double boiler situation. And then we'll melt the chocolate to pour over it. We can also melt it in the microwave. This recipe wants me to melt it in the microwave, and that's fine, but I have bowls and pots, it's fine. A lot of cool MMOs, but I feel like I only have time to dedicate to one. WoW is always going to be that one for me. That's pretty much where I'm at. Tips for a new playthrough in Stardew. Ooh. Like a new player playing through it, or like you've done playthroughs before and you want like a brand new idea. Because for a new player, I would say, you know, set your own goals. Like, you have time for everything. You're not really gonna mess things up by doing them in the wrong order. So just like, if you feel like you're really suffering for bag space, then just try to get together the money for the bag space. If you're short on money early, fishing is very strong early, and then mining becomes strong as soon as you can do that. But usually in a new playthrough, for like the first 2 days in Stardew Valley, I will just fish. I will get my fishing rod, I will set myself up, and I will just fish. Like, the fishing minigame it sucks, it's hard to do, but once you've got the hang of it, you make a lot of money early, and that's usually how I buy my first bag update. I played Harvest Moon, familiar with the mechanics. Okay, if you're brand new, don't touch fishing. It will scare you. It is easily the trickiest thing in the whole game. I would say just farm, talk to everybody whenever you see them. You get friendship with people, and that's one of the best aspects of the game, is like leveling up your friendship with all of the different people around. And you'll get some from giving them gifts and like learning what they like, but you'll also get some just by talking to them each day, and that will help you learn what they all like. So talk to people when you see them, and then you know, just try and make yourself some money. Marks on the side like butter? I don't know. I forgot to open it. You have a good point. This is a box. Comes in a pan. To open, to close. Oh, it does. Easy measuring guide. Look at that. All right. Well, I will just slice off 2 ounces then, and then leave that out. Let me grab a knife, I suppose. Keep refrigerated. 2, 4, 6, 8. Why have they done it like this? I don't really believe you. I guess 2 is going to be one of these things here. So like from here. You know what? We'll do from here, and then it'll be fine, because if it's a little bit of extra cream cheese, that's okay. We're making frosting. It's not going to be the end of the world. Oh, I should wrap that. A lion's apron? A lion's apron. I love it because it is kind of like a tabard, which is fun because I don't really wear tabards in game, but I'll wear a tabard in the kitchen. Okay, put the rest of that back. Gonna be doing, so yeah, we'll mix the butter that's softening, the cream cheese that's softening with the milk, sugar, extract. I can probably do that like in, it says do it with a mixer. We can do it in the stand mixer, or we can just use a bowl. I think I'm kind of short on bowls, because I'm gonna need one later for chocolate, so I'll probably do it in the stand mixer. Add milk, powdered sugar, and then peppermint. So for powdered sugar, I should make sure I have enough. I mean, I should have done that before I started, but we have part of a bag, and then I also have a box. I didn't know it came in boxes. I'm hoping there's a bag inside of this box. Oh, there's a paper bag inside this box. This is the same stuff, right? Powdered sugar, confectioner sugar. Yeah, it should be the same stuff. It's the same brand. All right, that'll do. That tea is delightful. Very good. Jif Girl 1970, thank you very much for the sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. I play both WoW and Final Fantasy XIV. I enjoy both games for their own reasons, but grinding 2 games can be harsh when low on time. Yeah, I bet. I feel bad sometimes just splitting my time between WoW and something like Pokemon Sword. I'm really itching to do a new Dark Souls playthrough. I want to start Dark Souls 3 again and actually finish it this time. I've played so much of the early areas of Dark Souls, and I know I could probably just pick up a playthrough I've already worked on, but where's the fun in that? Love your guides. Thanks, that Memphis kid. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching them. I have a new video actually coming out tomorrow because ya girl schedule. I feel so big in this kitchen. I got a quick one. It's just talking about the currencies that you might want some of 183 rolls around, because there's, like, you know, the new service medal mount, and then there's some new pets for pet charms, and there's like the doubloon boxes. I'm just talking about different currencies to save up. But I put that together today, and it should be ready tomorrow. Or it is ready for tomorrow. It'll go up at 10 a.m. Pacific. Has anyone ever had a day where they were grouchy, frustrated, can't find out why, having one of those and it sucks? Frequently, and a lot. And sometimes there is a reason, and it's just something I'm either in denial about or I never thought about, and then sometimes it just happens. Sometimes it just happens, and there is no reason, and I'm just grumpy and frustrated and angry and miserable, and I'm just like, well, it's one of those days, and I just, you know, have faith that it won't always feel like that. I hope Shadowlands is better than Battle for Azeroth. I didn't like BFA. I think it'll be different. I think it'll be worth giving a chance to. How do you like the Pokemon game and see negative stuff about it around? I didn't really keep up with any of the media around it. I didn't read articles or like watch headlines or anything before it came out, and I'm having a great time with it. I think it's like a more ambitious Pokemon game than they've done before. It feels like the wild areas feel very fun. People seem to be having a great time trying to get their favorite shiny pets. The only thing I'm mad about is that there is a Pokemon, like they have Gigantamax versions. So there's Dynamaxing a Pokemon, which you can do to any Pokemon in certain battles to make it gigantic. And then if it's a special Pokemon and it has a Gigantamax form, doing that will give it the special Gigantamax form. And not every Pokemon that has a Gigantamax form will be able to do that. You have to go get them from raids. And one of my Pokemon is a Milcery. It's like a cream Pokemon. It evolves into an Alchemy, which is, again, like a whipped cream Pokemon. And then if you get a special one from a raid that can Gigantamax, the Gigantamax form for this thing is a giant, amazing cake. And I want that. But you're not, like, that's not something you're going to be able to just, like, easily get. Those are not just grown on trees. And I would probably be, like, mostly done with the game by the time I'm reliably able to get one anyways. And I want, like, the Pokemon I'm going to use for the whole game. I don't want to get stuff later. Tea that would be good for someone who's never had any? I would start, especially, it depends on if you're, like, a coffee person or not. Like, it depends on what you already drink. If you are a coffee person, I would start with a black tea and then make it sort of similar to the way you make coffee. Like if you take your coffee with cream and sugar, make a black tea, add milk and sugar. If you don't drink coffee but you like juice, maybe go with like a fruity herbal tea and then drink it straight. And then another thing is if you like going out for sushi or for Japanese food, ask them for hot tea. They'll serve you like a hot green tea that goes nicely with your sushi. Usually quite cheap, and that's like another nice way to just try some green tea. Hazelnutty is 5'10". You nailed it. That is exactly how tall I am. When I went to the doctor and got measured, she said I was 5'9", and I disagree, but maybe I feel like I could have stretched a little farther, or maybe I'm just rounding up in my head because I want to be 5'10" and I'm actually 5'9". I'm tall enough. I can reach the stuff I need to reach. want to get a Switch and get Pokemon. It's really fulfilling the dream I had as a child of playing a proper Pokemon RPG, but on a console from my couch with a controller. Like, that's all I wanted when I was 8, and they really are coming through and delivering on that promise. So, these are probably, they're not soft, but they're not soft. I might microwave them for like 5 seconds, just to soften them a tiny bit more, and then we're gonna mix up the frosting. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go check on the brownie and see if it's cool enough for me to, in good conscience, put it into my freezer. Let's see here. Give it a little longer. Hi, Joker, what you doing? Good boy. The dog and the cat are in, like, those 2 beds that you sometimes see on my normal stream, like, together. The cat is in the left one, and the dog is in the right one. I put an Instagram story up of it this morning. They're really cute. They're not interacting with each other. I think they're ignoring each other, but they're in adjacent beds. It almost counts. Crittalish, I also, for a long time, thought that I didn't really want to do tea without sugar. At least for, like, black teas. Like, if I'm having an oolong tea or a green tea or an herbal tea, I'll take those straight. But black teas, like your breakfast teas, your flavored teas, I wanted them with milk, and I wanted them with sugar, but it was ruining my teeth. I have really soft teeth, I guess. And when I started doing that, I got 2 cavities, like, immediately, despite brushing my teeth and flossing them twice a day. Apparently it didn't matter, so I switched from sugar to Splenda. And say what you will about Splenda, but my teeth are fine now, so. Yeah, Alchemy has all the forms. You, like, hold the thing, you spin it. Yeah, you have to evolve Alchemy while you're holding the thing. You literally spin your character around to shake the cream. It's really cute. Oh, man. This tea is a creme brulee flavored black tea. HRT took me from 5'11" to 5'8.5". I wish I was shorter. I used to. I used to not wear heels. And to be fair, I'm not 5'11", but I used to not wear heels. I used to kind of slouch and hunch a bit, especially in school, because I got tall quite early. I was about this tall in high school, and not many other people were. It wasn't quite like tall girl movie levels of weird, but you know, you were notably tall. Like, people wanted you to play basketball, they wanted you to play volleyball. And I used to not dig it, but now I feel like, you know, I can reach. I feel capable, you know? It makes me feel not exactly strong, but I don't feel small. And I'm trying to really hang on to that. Okay, let's mix up some frosting here. So we have cream cheese, we have butter, we have peppermint extract, we have powdered sugar. And I have a stand mixer. Let me show you guys. Hey, there we go. You won't be able to see much, but you know, it's the thought that counts. And this one in here. I was gonna microwave those for just like the teeny tiniest little bit of time. Like six seconds, maybe. Maybe not even for this little butter thing. I'm gonna do this for like, yeah, 6 seconds. That's barely enough time to even do anything. I'm not trying to melt it, I'm just trying to soften it like a little bit more. And then, dump that in there. Same thing for the cream cheese, of course, take off the foil. Never put metal into your microwave, does not go well. I know it sparks. I don't really know what happens after that, but I don't really want to find out. At least not in person, I might Google it. You know what, that's probably soft enough, that can go in. Herbal teas with a little Splenda. The Stash creme brulee tea? Yeah. We have a Stash retail store here in Portland, because Stash is based here. And that's where I got like my teapot and my tea tins, and it's just like a fun place to shop. It's not like the most highbrow tea collection you'll ever browse, but they're tasty and they're mostly affordable, and it's just like, you know, it's in Portland, so why not? What am I doing? Milk or sugar, powdered sugar, 2 cups powdered sugar. I'm just gonna put everything in here. I don't know if that's advised, but I don't care. I'm living my life. I'm ready for the, I'm letting the Christmas spirit flow through me is what's happening right here. Let's do, so 2 cups, is that what I said? That is what I said. There we go. Well, you know it's icing. That's probably 1 and a bit cups, especially if I put the rest of that there. So I need a little bit less than 1 cup. And then we can kind of adjust the milk-sugar ratio as needed to make this a good consistency. I'll probably mix it up and then add the extract after we've got like the, oh, there we go. Yeah, let's do like that, because I know I did a little bit over the first time. So it said a tablespoon of milk or cream. I do not have cream, but I do have whole milk. I'm a skim milk person if I'm gonna like drink milk or if I'm putting milk in my tea. But if I'm putting milk in my coffee, all about the whole milk for me. I feel like half and half is too much and skim is not enough. I may or may not have left a little bit of foil on baby food. Oh no, oh no. Hopefully you noticed where you are. Normal or borderline small here in the Netherlands as well. Yeah, it all depends regionally. I'm sure if I went to, you know, Japan, I would have a hard time finding clothes. And if I went to the Netherlands, I would probably more or less fit right in, if not being a little bit small. But here, at least, America, good old US of A, I am above average. I'm not freakily above average. I don't think people stare at me, but above average, I would say. I am taller than... I don't think I know any women locally that I'm taller than, but then again, I only know like 4 women, so I don't have a lot of friends. 1 tablespoon milk. Just wait until I start taking some cooking classes. Oh man, all right, so let's put this together. What if I take like a baking class and then I do the baking streams and become insufferable? Because you guys will go like, Hazel, have you tried this technique? And I'll be like, well, actually, the way I learned it is that this way is the only way. The esteemed community center baking teacher has shown me the light. I shall not be convinced otherwise. How dare you peasants presume? With the accent, always with the accent. This needs some light. Also a spoon. Scrape. There we go. I am excited for Christmas. It's gonna be fun. I ordered some presents. I can't wrap them until tomorrow because my wrapping paper is not here until tomorrow, but it's got some little things. We already did like major gifts earlier, so I just wanted some little things to wrap, and then I'm gonna go Christmas shopping. Well, Christmas shopping. This weekend I think I want to go find, because Christmas is next week, right? It's like in 7 days. I want to go to some pet stores and I want to pick out some presents for my babies. I'm gonna get the cat some treats because she doesn't like her current treats, and I want to get the dog like a chew of some sort because he likes those. So we should go out and find some pet stores and like pick something out. All right, this is not very much. It's also not very smooth. I kind of want to whip it and like get some more air into it to make it fluffier. We haven't added the peppermint yet. That's coming next. I want to get it like all smooth and together. Christmas lights do work. It's dark outside now. That's looking better. All right. Scrape the sides again, add the peppermint, and then do that one more time. It's going to be a very thin layer of icing. I'm not icing a cake here. I just want a layer of cream cheese peppermint before the chocolate and then before the candy canes. So my extract. Where has my extract gone? Did I put it away? I would never. Would I? I did not. Okay, 1/8 of a teaspoon. I only have a 1/4 teaspoon. I guess I'm just gonna try and fill it half full. I know this stuff is really strong, so I gotta be careful. Ryan, thank you very much for the bits. Add salt, it needs so much more salt. For icing, I can add a little bit of salt. Geo Toaster, thank you for the 6-month resub already. Here, I will add a little bit. Oh, great. There you go. I don't want to overdo it because it's not in the recipe, and I want to make sure that if it goes horribly wrong, that I can blame the recipe. All right, so. Oh no, I'm gonna have to open this. This is brand new. Do this over the sink. Time for bed. Distracting doing Pepe achievements. Have a good stream. See you later. Have a good night. Enjoyed if you took a class, spent most of the stream talking about it. That's really the dream, isn't it? I would love to just have a life where I'm always learning, like always doing some kind of either class or lessons. Just because I feel like that gives you like, even if you're not learning skills for like the workforce, if you have the time and money to do it, it makes you a more interesting human being, I think. Or at least gives me something to talk about. I'm always worried about not having enough to talk about. For stream anyways. If it's for something else, then I don't need to talk. But if I don't say anything, it gets a little quiet around here. Whew! That's some stuff. That'll wake you up in the morning. Centurio 1986, thanks for the bits. Notice me, Senpai, you've been noticed. Memphis Kid, what are you adding? Peppermint extract. This is for the peppermint cream cheese frosting layer that's gonna go on top. So I wanna like fill this about half full. I'm gonna do it over here actually. Some of it will probably cling. There we go. Let's just do this much. And then I'll taste it. Oh, that smells really good, actually. Hopefully, I'm smelling still from the bottle and also from my hands. I spilled some on my hands. That's not the perfume you want. You go on a date and they're like, why do you smell like so much mint? So much peppermint. That's really good. That's not too much. You can taste it, but it doesn't overwhelm you. You can still get the cream cheese, which is what I wanted. And there's gonna be more, there's gonna be candy canes on top, so the mintiness is gonna be coming from there as well, so that's good. Okay, I can put this milk away. I had forgotten I'd left it out. I could probably fix a second cup of tea. I did make a whole pot, didn't I? And that one up there. Kind of up here. And what else? That goes in the cupboard. So, we want the brownies cooled completely, which they are working on doing outside. We want to spread the frosting evenly and then chill it in the freezer once the brownies are kind of cool. And then once it's chilling, we can kind of sort of start melting some chocolate, because our last step after we get the icing on the brownies, we want to pour melted chocolate or spread melted chocolate somehow on top of that to make a melted chocolate layer up top. And then while it is still wet, add chopped up candy canes to the top of it. Sprinkle them. Spread evenly over the cream cheese layer. I'm worried about trying to spread melted chocolate over a layer of cream cheese frosting. Like, I guess if I've frozen the frosting, or at least I've gotten it kind of chilled first, it shouldn't spread too much, but I'm worried it's not going to be very even. We will cross that bridge when we get to it. For now, let's get all of the icing off of this mixing paddle. Clean that. I wonder if I should, let's grab the spatula. I'm probably going to be using this bad boy to spread it on the brownies when we get there, so let's switch tools. It's going to go over here. The icing smells really tasty. I think that's going to go really nicely with the chocolate. I don't know why I never thought of this before. Actually, you know why? I do know. It's because it has more than one step. and that's kind of where my line is whenever I'm baking something just for me. 2 steps? Oh, rough luck. Hopefully one of them is really easy. Okay. Well, it's not clean, but happens. Can you just pour it? How thick will it be? Good question. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. I'm gonna try and pour it, I think. Baking stream and preaches new videos, so much WoW stuff happening. Are you a Warcraft 3 fan? Are you planning on playing any next month? I was not really a Warcraft 3 fan, but I did pre-order it. And I kind of have limited expectations because I never played the first one. So I think I'm in a uniquely decent position to actually really enjoy Warcraft 3 Reforged, because I'm not going to be like comparing it too much to the original. So I think it'll be fun. Be good. Like the transmog video, all about that transmog life. Keep up the good work. Ah, shucks. You wanted the meat wagon, didn't you? You got me. Guilty. I did indeed. It was, and honestly worth it. I pull that thing out every single time I am in the Warfront, Arathi Warfront. Oh man. I did the Arathi Warfront last night actually, because quests were up for Alliance and I wanted the service medals because I'm saving for the service medal mount. And I was playing at my new desk in the living room, and that meant I was sitting in my new chair for like a good hour because I was doing some world quests before. I gotta stop eating icing. I was doing some world quests before, and then I did the Warfronts while the lasagna was cooking. And I've discovered that my inexpensive task chair kind of starts to fail me after a certain amount of time. It's not bad. I still think I like it better than like the bucket style gaming chairs because it has some back support, but it almost has too much back support. I feel like I had some lower back pain, like it was being pressed in too much after like an hour sitting in that chair. And I'm sad because I don't want to spend the money to buy a nice chair. Like I could buy like a nice task chair and then put it in my office and then take the slightly broken but still nice task chair from my office and put it out here. But they're like expensive and I'm trying to save up for a house over here. So I should just, you know, find games I can play from my couch, I suppose. Have you had a chance to try that dough mixing pouch that you received from a fan yet? Yeah, we used it to roll out the pastry. Interpretive speaking here. We used it to roll out the pastry for the pie that we made last time. What kind of pie did we make? We made an apple pie. Last month's apple pie baking stream was the deal with that. Okay. This one up here. These in the sink. I can probably just leave the cutting board as is. I don't think I need to. Oh, you know what we might use that bag for, actually? That might be for busting up some candy canes, actually. That might be good. Because I'm gonna need to do that, and I feel like if I just try to chop them up on my cutting board, I'm gonna make a huge mess and just like be picking shards of candy cane off of my floor for the rest of my life. Obsessed with the Mythic Cloth set. Probably won't get it until at least next expansion. You and me both. You and me both. It's so good. The other Mythic set, the Mythic Plate set, actually, and Plate in general, I really liked. I'm a really big fan of that ponytail. 2 days of doing nothing but baking, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Good to see Thrall being the real Thrall. You started after Cataclysm? No, I started in Wrath. Why do people think I'm a Kata baby? I think it's because I talk about Kata being my first real expansion. But that's just because I started in Wrath, I just didn't know anything back then, and therefore it wasn't fun. I played through the ICC patch. A little pillow for the lower back. The problem, though, is that it's supporting me too much in my lower back. Like, the back of the chair curves inwards at the lower back, and I felt like that was pushing my back out too far. And I don't know, like, maybe I just need to sit more forward in it and just not lean back. The mail set was okay. The mail and leather sets weren't, like, my favorite, but I also often don't like the mail and leather sets. I like the mail better than the leather. The leather was strange to me. Oh, man. Still get to see Thrall being the real Thrall and not what he became. Oh, in Warcraft 3, true. Yeah, it should be good. I'm interested. I couldn't tell you what storyline they covered in Warcraft 3. I want to say it's the Arthas stuff, but I don't know. So that'll be fun. This is our peppermint cream cheese frosting. I feel like there's not much of it. There's like about a cup of frosting. So we're gonna spread a pretty thin layer of it. I suppose I should check on the brownie again, because I'm gonna need that to be chilled, because then we need to spread that and then freeze them all. So I need that top. I need it to be cool. Cool, my brownie child. Chill. At least it's cold out here. I think that'll do. I think that'll do it. It's not icy, but it's not hot. It's debatably warm, but I don't think it's gonna really make the icing run everywhere. And we're also putting it like right back in the freezer too, so. There is our brownie back. Yeah, no, that's fine. In case you came later in the stream, this is what we made earlier. It's a very thin, long brownie situation, but we can now add in, I'm gonna actually, you know what they tell you with like new skin care products? They're like, add a test patch before you do the whole thing. I'm going to add a test glob of icing to like a corner over here to see if it just liquefies or not. Test the heat situation. There's my test blob. Seems fine. On we go. Let's, you guys are looking over into the mixer, and what you really want to be doing is looking somewhat into the pan-ish, approximately, kind of, sort of. Let's get this on here, and we want to spread it. Oh yeah, that actually is enough. I thought it wasn't going to be enough. It's totally enough. Nice, even layer of icing across the top of the brownie, and then we're going to put the whole thing in the freezer. We're going to whack it in the freezer, as they say. And then while we do that, while it is chilling, we can melt some chocolate over the stove very slowly, very carefully. What time is it? It's about 4:41? That seems about right. Okay, how are we doing? A little bit more through here. This corner needs some love. Doesn't need to be super thick, but it should be relatively even. I'm so excited. This is gonna be so cute. I think the chopped up candy canes are gonna make it all fun. And I want it to be fun. I want to be that streamer that makes fun things happen. I'm fun. I feel like I've been having like influencer envy. Not that I'm like overly jealous of what other influencers have, but like just how like cool they seem to be, or like how polished somebody's content might be, or you know, the fact that they actually post on their social media. I feel like I've been wanting to step up my game, and instead of actually stepping up my game, I've just been watching other people with games that are stepped up from mine and being like, wow, maybe I should do it like that. There we go. There we go. That looks good. Got a little bit more. I was worried about not having enough, but that's the perfect amount. To get a little bit more into the edges here. So that will be an iced brownie. I can see a little bit poking through on the side, so let's put it over there. There you go. That's good. So I think I actually have a lid for that tin. Although I don't want to like keep the cool out too much. I'm just going to plastic wrap it. And then I'm going to slap that. I'm going to whack it in the freezer, as they say. And then that can chill for like probably at least 20 minutes while we do the chocolate melting and also prepare our candy canes. Here. That. There we go. Oh, sorry, that was loud. I didn't mean to be so aggressive. I need an offset spatula. Oh, rip. Mixer, this is still Twitch. Mail's kind of hard to design. Making the metal stick out too much starts to look like plate. Not enough looks like leather. That's a good point, actually, ma'am. Can't get over the tentacle thing coming out of the cloth helmet. It's so cool. Could have used green dye in the cream cheese. Oh, I could have. Could I have? Do I have green dye? I mean, it's too late now. But, I did that actually. I must, because I did that for, what do we call them? Borealis bars? We made Borealis bars, which were basically Nanaimo bars, but I wanted to make them Coltirous-y. So I colored the custard layer green, and those were really good. I want to make those again. They were, I feel like I didn't grease the pan well enough last time I did those because they were really hard to get out of the tin, but the layers were good. If you've never had a Nanaimo bar, it's delightful. It's like kind of a coconutty, chocolatey layer in the bottom, and then you get like a layer of custard and then a layer of chocolate, and it's like a little square bar tray bake kind of deal. It's nice. Okay, what am I doing? I am melting chocolate, I am unwrapping candy canes and then chopping them up. I am going to soak my icing tin and only eat a tiny bit more icing. An offset spatula? Why? What does it do? In what way will it really earn its space in my cupboard? I'm very resistant to new kitchen items because I have to store all of them, and if it's something I'm never going to use, then I'm just going to be like pawing over it every time I'm looking for something that I do use. And sometimes even when I have tools that I should use, I don't always use them, so I need its benefit to be overwhelmingly evident to me before I consider having another thing. That was very aggressive. Scrape the rest of the bowl of the cheesy stuff, green food color, squeeze wreaths on top. Oh. Well, I have soapy water in my bowl. That is a cute idea, though. Maybe next time. Also, well, I mean, piping. Piping and I do not get along. Piping and I have a long and fraught history. We're on the outs. You know, we're fighting. We're not talking. We don't speak. Okay. I don't think I need this. I think I should wash that because we only have the one cutting board, so whenever I'm like, oh, I'll just put it in the dishwasher, I end up needing it like immediately. So, wash that. Get all the icing off it. I remember earlier when I was talking about dinner, somebody told me to order sushi, and now I kind of want to. I always end up wanting to order sushi on Sundays because I feel like that's like a nice weekend, you know, end of weekend place to have like a nice easy dinner. But sushi places around here aren't open on Sundays, and I don't know what's up with that. I don't, maybe they're just like really, really Catholic? I don't know. I am melting chocolate. How much chocolate? It wants me to do 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. 1 cup, okay. So I have, those are M&Ms, those won't do. Let's see. What do we got? I got all kinds of stuff. I just buy baking supplies with no plans of baking anything, just in case like the urge strikes and then I don't want to go out. Semi-sweet morsels. Let's open one semi-sweet chocolate. White chocolate. You saw nothing. White chocolate? No, semi-sweet chocolate. Do I have 2 open bags of semi-sweet chocolate chips? I do. Okay, we can use those. Probably the 2 open ones should be enough. That'll be a little more than enough, but I'd rather melt more and then not need all of it, especially when they're already open. So I think the plan is I'm going to boil water on the stove in a saucepan, not a skittle. I mean, this one's not a skittle anyways. Pot, and then I'll put one of my glass Pyrex bowls on top of it, and the steam should make a double boiler situation. If you guys weren't here, honestly, I would microwave it, but I'm trying to be fancy for you. Let's do this over here. Inner burner. About there. And that can boil for now. Which bowl? Probably like this bowl. Will that do? Yeah, that'll do. Do I want it to not make a seal? Am I going to explode? Do I want... It's not... I mean... No seal? I mean, it's not rubber or anything like that, but it does fit kind of snugly. What if I shift it around while I'm working on it? Leave some space? How? I don't have like a rack or anything like that. I can't levitate it. You make a lever frost, brownies, cupcakes, torts, cheesecakes, cream cheese, offset spatula will be needed. I mean, it also depends on how nice I want them to look, because I frost all kind of things, and I basically just whack on icing with a spoon, and then mush it around until it's mostly covered, and then I eat it. Something being aesthetically pleasing is not a high priority for me in the kitchen. Oh boy, shifting it around will work fine. Okay, a fork or straw on the edge. Ooh, good idea. I like the straw idea because then it has its own little built-in chimney. Also, I have metal straws, so why not? Maybe not. Maybe the fork is a better idea. I don't want it to be too wiggly. I don't want to, like, drop it. Does anybody do this? Am I crazy? I'm just gonna shift it around. It'll be fine. It won't explode. Spoons? Between the pan? Oh, I'm just gonna have, like, a mitt over here because it'll probably get hot. And, like, I'm gonna be probably holding it and stirring it, so I can just lift a little bit while I'm doing that. Oh, man. Yeah, that'll be fine. I don't want it to be, like, wiggling around that much because I will find a way to, like, flip, like, melted chocolate on myself, and that's probably worse. I need more water. Let's see. This water bottle is opaque, which means when I fill it, I have to listen very carefully for the pitch of the water inside of it. And whenever I forget, I overfill it and it spills. Ah, there we go. Bro, do you even lift? I can't really hit people with flexes. Also, that's not my brand, but a little bit actually. I lift just enough to stave off the carpal tunnel syndrome. Leviosa. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. I love that movie a lot. Hazel Pro's gonna show us how to lift today. Oh, I forgot I have a flex emote. I do have a flex emote. She has different colored hair. I'm just gonna pop these in and see what they look like, and they can sort of start warming. I don't think my water's really super hot yet. Let's turn that all the way up. Just make sure this isn't like accidentally a white chocolate chip. And then once those are just kind of, yeah, that's fine. Once that's melting, we can kind of sort of just start Project Obliterate candy canes. I'm gonna have to unwrap them. They're all like individually wrapped. These ones are like, they're still fine to eat, but I think they're a bit old because they have that like white film on them. I want to say it's like fat coming out of them. I don't know. I'm gonna not use this one. I'm sure it's fine, but we have enough. Also, I have more of different types of chocolate elsewhere, so it'll be all good. So, I'm thinking that I should put my lid on this because if I knock it over, it doesn't have a lid on, it's gonna be a problem. It's the fat separating. Not a big deal if it tastes okay. Especially because we're melting them, it probably would have been fine, but I won't worry about it. Not gonna lie to you, I have eaten my fair share of slightly expired chocolate in my life because I like chocolate more than I have pride. Okay, I have this gift bag, silicone zip bag, and I feel like what I'm gonna do is this is going to be the candy cane obliteration zone. I'm just making sure it's dry. It is dry. That's good because it was close. Candy cane obliteration zone. So we have a box of candy canes. I threw some of them on my tree because I needed more stuff to decorate the tree with, and then I also was using one to gesture. Oh yeah, it's over here. So I'm gonna start with like 4. I feel like maybe 5. I guess we don't have to use it all. It's not like I'm gonna eat them. It's not like I have a real strong need for intact candy canes. So I'm going to unwrap and smash up 5 of these things. I have another 3 in my tree if I need them. And then we'll see how that feels when it comes to sprinkling time. So what's the best way to do this? Should I use scissors? Also, I'm gonna want a spoon and just kind of keep moving, giving those a stir, I feel like is the idea, the meta. The white film is called Bloom. It's the cocoa butter separating from the cocoa solid. They'll be fine. The Bloom. Made mac and cheese with chicken. Joker sounds excited. That's his dad's home cry. He has a very specific special one. It's funny because it's like, it's an anxiety thing, right? Like it's a separation anxiety thing. So you would think that when he's home, he'd be happy, but snap him in half? Ooh, that's probably smart. I don't want to like shred my nails. I just painted them. I put like sparkles on them. Can you see? Oh, there we go. I did like red for the holiday, but then I was like, ooh, I have glitter. Professor Thickamore, thank you for the 2-month resub. How do I cope with having to swap to Horde from Volpera/Cry? I mean, it sounds like you've made your decision, so I think now it's just a matter of saying goodbye to all your friends and packing up all of your Alliance-only mounts and then just trying to make some new friends. No, it'll be okay. You can play both sides. That's kind of what I'm planning on doing. I'm not, there we go. That's one. Staticky. That's very satisfying. I never really enjoyed candy canes too much. Like, I enjoy the visual of them. I like decorating with them. If I see a giant one in the street, I'll be like, oh, that's nice. But if you actually just give me one to eat, I feel like I was excited about them as a kid because you'd see them on the tree and you'd be like, oh, that's candy, can I eat it? And your mom would be like, no, it's for decorating. And I'm like, well, but then she's like, well, you can eat it after Christmas. So I looked forward to that all Christmas. And then, you know, the end of Christmas came around, she's like, okay, you can eat them now. Or, well, eat one. And it was like no longer, that's the moment when you realize that it's really just a peppermint hard candy that you could have just had at a restaurant anyways. And not that you go to the restaurants for the candies, but you know, it's just not really life-changing. I guess if you really like mint or hard candy, of candies in general, not my favorites, you know, fine. And I think they'll be fun for something like this. But, hello, can you help me? I'm really stoned. I don't know what to do for you, but I believe you're gonna be okay. You're doing great. It's okay. Just have a seat, you know? Have some water. That doesn't hurt, right? I've never been high. I have no useful advice for you. Does 911 deliver Cheetos? They do not. Please do not call them. DoorDash might. Have you ever had the chocolate mint candy cane? They're better. I think I have, actually. I think I have. Cherry flavored candy canes? That sounds good. Yeah, they're, unfortunately, these are not, I mean, I guess you wouldn't really want wee brownies right now if you're already too stoned, but they're, these are some normal brownies we're doing. What's going on over there? Uh-huh, I can see that. Our cat enjoys getting into sweaters whenever allowed, and she's trying to crawl into a hoodie that does not have this available space, and it's quite fun. Junia51, thank you very much for the 2-month resub. Hazel, you are super cute today. Nice job. I'm in a good mood. I'm feeling the holiday spirit. I was feeling anti-holiday spirit earlier in the week. I was feeling the I'm sad that it's the holidays because everybody else looks like they're having fun and I don't feel good. But I've powered through it and we're doing better now. Also, I'm about to like obliterate some candy canes. So if nothing makes you feel better about Christmas, that will. Putting chicken in the mac and cheese was a mistake. Oh no, it sounds fine. Not really a peppermint person. For some reason, I love peppermint ice cream. I don't think I can show him just because there's a window behind him and the drapes aren't shut. So you're just gonna have to trust me that it's very cute. I might be able to make an Instagram story for you guys. Okay. Oh, my water. Yeah, the steam can get out. We're not gonna explode anything, it's fine. All right, you work on that. I'm going to show cat, but not window.
About as far as she got in.
Kitty, you're barely in at all.
Yeah, she gave up.
Okay. Oh god, not sound. I don't think I've ever intentionally posted an Instagram story with sound. I feel like that's not what you want when you're like looking through stories. All right, if you want to see the cat, Instagram.com/HazelnuttyLife has it. This is melting actually. That's working. That's good. Ow! Steam's hot. Careful. I'm going to turn the heat down. Now I'm going to put on a mitt. Let's encourage safety, shall we? Let's release the steam from the side that does not have my non-mitted hand in it. All right, so that's going to continue. That is chilling. Oh yeah, I was obliterating candy canes. That's what I was up to. Oh man, working 6 days a week since Thanksgiving. Can't wait for this month to be over. I'm so tired. You're going to take the most glorious naps though. Love this rap for ASMR. Sorry, I didn't even think of that. I promise it was not my intention, but if you're into it, then happy birthday. Bowl on the stove doesn't look safe. Careful. Never thought steam can be hot. I specifically remember that lesson from my upbringing. My stepdad really impressed that one upon me, although clearly not enough. But steam is hotter than hot water because, obviously, because it boiled. You know, it's like, if it wasn't hotter than the water, it wouldn't have become steam. So you can get really nasty steam burns if you're not careful. It did not really get me much. I'm fine. I know better. That was my bad. Let's see. Turn on the fan. Katie's so adorable. Instagram doesn't have the kitty, don't have an account though. You might need, I don't know if you can watch stories without one. It's on, yeah, it's not a proper post. It's one of those ephemeral things that goes away after a day. I can post the pets on those ones. I feel bad putting them on the regular feed. I feel like I'm supposed to post, I mean, it's Instagram, you can post whatever the hell you want, but I feel like you're supposed to, at least as like a social media person, pictures of yourself. Like, if I went to a celebrity's Instagram page, I feel like I would be expecting to see them. And, I don't know. I do both. I don't have a mallet or anything. Well, this is gonna be fun. Okay. Go, that melting is coming along nicely. I might add some more chocolate. I might add some more. I have some 56% actually, some dark stuff. That might add a little bit of extra sharpness. Because there's going to be enough sweetness going on with the brownie and stuff. I don't think I'm a celebrity. I'm just saying that for the style of account that I'm trying to have, I think that's the vibe. Bottle of wine could work too. Rolling pin, ooh, good idea. I was just gonna like whack it with itself. I was just gonna kind of like slap it on the counter and see what happened. All right, let's try that. And then glove. Keep melting. Yeah, I was gonna kind of just like. Oh, that worked. Because I don't want it to be like too pulverized, you know? Also, I don't want my neighbors to hate me too much. Okay. Oh, no, there's a piece there. 99% of Instagram feeds made out of cats. Do you have a roller? My Instagram, like when I'm not posting, but when I'm like scrolling, 100% fish. Fish, aquariums, aquascaping, goldfish, more goldfish. Like, I learned how to follow hashtags and was just like, ooh, all the goldfish hashtags, and now it's just like nothing but goldfish. It's great. I think she's fencing the mint. I feel like she was fencing the mint. You gotta have, if you're gonna be like slapping something with a rolling pin, you better do that with some style, you know? Like, not everybody gets those opportunities all the time. There's still some pretty big chunks here. There are still some pretty big chunks there. Sorry, neighbors. You know what? It's fine. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's okay. Getting there. That timer was 20 minutes for the freezing, so that's just been in the freezer for 20 minutes. That's good. Music playlist of songs you would hear at an aquarium. I do not know. What did I come into? Sup, Gia? How you doing? Oh! It unzipped. I will vacuum after the stream is over. I am basically trying to obliterate candy canes to make, to sprinkle on top of a peppermint brownie. So we're on the most fun step of things where I'm just trying to really smash them up. But, you know, quickly. 5-second rule. I mean, it's mostly powder. I kind of want to vacuum that now. Because it's just going to be like all up on my feet. And then it's going to be like on the dog's feet. And it's just dust, but you know, here, if I kind of... Don't mind me. All right, that'll do it. That's nice. Okay, how's our chocolate doing? Back on so I can see it. I still have some chunks, but they're kind of melting. Should I put anything else in here? Butter, cream? I feel like I want it to be a little looser for the sake of spreading. Do people mix butter into this? I feel like they do, but I want to check. I guess I can Google it. Oh, beat the horde. Take those peppermints to the Bee Gees. Freezing them, Ziploc bag, kitchen mallet. I feel like the kitchen mallets are really something I'm missing. Coconut oil? I don't know if I have coconut oil. I have coconut spray. My dog is my house's vacuum. We try to keep him from eating too many crumbs, at least candy crumbs. It might be okay. We're doing okay. How hot is this? Not very. All right. So basically our next step is to pour this over the chilled icing brownie thing, and then sprinkle with our, I'm gonna put these in like a bowl so that I don't spill them again from their bag. Let's empty our candy cane, our pulverized candy canes. I can show you how little we got them. There's still some bigger chunks, but for the most part, oh god, for the most part, it's doing pretty good. Oh, a little piece of plastic, get out of there. That's not what we want. So, candy canes, mostly obliterated. A couple of chunks on there still. I want those big ones to stop. That's a bad idea. And then this can go in the sink. This can go back over here. All of this plastic needs to go in the trash. And I think we're about ready for the last step. So, brownie covered in peppermint cream cheese frosting. And then we're basically want to spread / pour our chocolate over here. I'm gonna grab my mitt back. Sad onions. Hey, Hazel, so I can watch you do chores, don't judge me. I'm into that kind of content. Sometimes watching somebody else clean their place makes me want to clean my place. Okay. So I'm basically just going to go right down the middle and kind of glop it on here. And then very quickly, flat thing. Sure. This will do. I can already feel people wishing I had a tool for this. Get this as across as possible. It's not bad. I've seen worse. Ah! There's chocolate on the underside of my cabinet. Okay. Oh boy. So get it into the corners. Quickly before it solidifies. I'm gonna have some chocolate cleanup later. I feel like I'm gonna have some difficulties getting this to like edge to edge. It's doing okay. This is not the tool that the universe intended for me to use for this. But we're doing okay. You know, it's rubber, it's flat. What else do you want from your life? And then just right to the edge, just get in there. Get. Go. Okay. And then a little more. Right over here. Yeah. Oh boy. That's the good stuff. Well, mostly. Okay. So that's just gonna have to do. I'm gonna get the chocolate off my hands. Oh no, the camera! I was afraid of that. You guys can see the important action. It's fine. It's fine. For some reason, it has decided that it wants to like auto power off sometimes now. Or maybe it's got a dumber, it's literally plugged into power. Yeah, you shouldn't be dead. Thank you. Okay, so we're back. And now this, basically, all up on here. So we're unfortunately not going to be able to eat any on stream right now because it's got to chill, it's got to set. I want the whole thing in the fridge for like a couple of hours at least before we try to cut it. But tomorrow afternoon, I'm doing a live stream. We're doing a normal WoW live stream. And you guys remind me, and I will get a piece of this and show you what it turned out as. Once cut, we can do a stream taste test. Peppermint still be hard when you bake it. The baking's done at this point. It's all baked. Oh, there's some chocolate on that. It's all baked. We baked the brownie earlier, and then we spread it with icing and then chocolate, and it's not going in anymore. It's done. So that's the top of it. That is the side profile view. You have not the cleanest layer ever, but you know, cream cheese, peppermint frosting, brownie on the bottom, and then the chocolate with the extra candy canes on top. Eat that as is, not ashamed to say so. Yeah, it's done. Do you really, the hard candy cane's a good idea for brownie? Do I really? I think I really. I don't see why not. It's festive. It's fun. I don't think the brownie police are gonna come get me. It's, some of the bigger pieces might be kind of crunchy, but that's okay. You know what? That's an eater problem. And, as the chef in this equation, I'm, we're good. We're done. Oh boy. You know, mess-wise, could have been better, could have been worse. We didn't get chocolate on everything. I would like to thank you guys so much for coming to the baking stream. The full VoD of this entire process will be on YouTube probably this weekend. I'm gonna try and put it up like Saturday or Sunday or something like that. Cooking skill IRL, 17. Not good at cold tier cooking, too much meat. What else? Back tomorrow afternoon. I will taste test this tomorrow on the stream. Especially if you remind me. I also may post some photos to my social medias. So I am Hazelnuttygames on Twitter, HazelnuttyLife on Instagram. New video coming tomorrow. That'll be fun. Yeah, thanks guys. You're the best. I wish you, stoves off for good. I wish you guys a wonderful day. Thank you Willow Umber for the sub, and see you tomorrow.